meeting to order. Note that we do have a quorum present and the agenda was posted in a timely fashion. Next item on the agenda is to recognition of the students of the month. The board will come around to the front.
Litchfield, would it be better if we let them sit down?
Yes.
So if you guys don't mind. My student group of the month is going to be our yearbook group, and they've actually got a little presentation. They want to show a little bit of the yearbook that they're working on currently. You know, one of the things that I wanted to make sure that they got a chance to speak is because a few years ago, or I would say 3 years ago, probably 2 years ago when she took over, our kids were kind of just taking pictures randomly, or would get sent of some pictures. Miss Litchfield has done an unbelievable job of making sure that our kids are at every single event to take photos. Sometimes she's, you know, hounding them a little bit to make sure they get there, but they do a great job and they work well with one another. And I tell you what, one of the few things that you don't know is that she's tried to be innovative with the yearbook. We've done things like take pictures or QR codes or pictures that speak to you or play music. So it's been really cool getting the opportunity to watch what Miss Litchfield does every year with the yearbook. It's a little something different. This year, I don't want to spoil it too much, but is our 80th edition. So that theme is going to be a huge part of what they do. Go ahead, Miss Litchfield.
I just want to introduce myself because there's a few of you I don't know that I've met. So I am Mrs. Litchfield. My background is in technology before I got into English. So I try to blend the two together, and I have taken over yearbook for the first time 3 years ago. So we are trying to bring it from a picture book, which my students will tell you. I've got a wonderful team this year, and I really believe in a student-led. Basically, I work for them, and they are building it. And so I'm just going to turn it over to my students. I'm going to turn it over to Lillian Birthright, who is our managing editor, who basically runs the show. And she's just been compassionate, and she's caring, and she's creative, and she has led our team to a really successful and what I think is going to be a wonderful book this year. So I'm going to turn it over to the kids.
Okay, hi. As Ms. Litchfield said, I'm Lillian Birthright, and I just wanted to start by telling you I'm super excited about this year's yearbook. I actually forgot what the cover looked like. I had a girl in the class asked today what it looked like, so I pulled it up for her, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's the best thing ever. Like, it really did. It surprised me. But I am a senior, and this is my second year to be in yearbook. At the end of last year, we started working on the ladder for how we were going to do things, just kind of just the way how the pages are going to be set for the book, which order they're going to be in. And it kind of, when we did it, it made us realize it kind of fell in place for what year it was. We discovered it was the 80th publication of the yearbook, the Cardinal. In 1944 was the first production of it. And so we decided it kind of just fell in place for the theme this year for it to be an 80s theme. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that out. I'm going to let y'all get a little sneak peek of it. So that is our cover for this year's yearbook.
Everybody back here is going, what's it look like?
Yeah, we don't want to spoil it too much. We don't want to spoil it too much.
But just how the theme kind of guides the book, I'm as the managing editor, I guide our team throughout making our production and making the memories to look back on, so that people will have a wonderful book to look back on and enjoy those memories. These memories are created. We break down the team into 4 different departments, and each student can bring in their own different ideas into the production that we have. Our first department is layout and design. We put graphics and text onto all 144 pages of the book and the cover, and it is all done by every single student. We have 18 this year, and so we all come together with all of our different ideas to put this book to kind of look like one. Our next department is copy editing, which is needed because our journalistic goal is not just to make it a picture book, but also have some captions to go with it and some articles so that they can go along with the pictures. And then we have photography. It is more than just taking pictures. We use Photoshop and Photopea in Walsworth to edit some images so that they maintain. And then our photography group, they maintain the equipment, make sure our staff is getting to the events on time and where they need to be, make sure everything's kind of in line for everybody. And then last and maybe the most important department is sales and marketing, but I'm going to let Samantha Barnett come up and explain what she does for her role.
I'm Samantha Barnett. I am the head of every transaction that comes in, all of the money, every sale that we get. I get the opportunity to admit them into our wonderful Wadsworth. That has allowed us to keep up with how many sales, how many people buy a book, how many people got our treats that we, in December, allowed people for the days of the 18th to the 22nd to buy a yearbook for $35. That was our Christmas present to everybody in Maud because we wanted to be nice. Well, I wanted to be. Taking care of sales comes with a big responsibility because if I lose money, that's on me, and I really don't want to get yelled at by Miss Litchfield because it's kind of scary sometimes. So I try to keep up with how many people buy our yearbook. We're actually doing a great job right now keeping up with how many people have bought a yearbook. I also have made flyers on the Maud website. There's a March one going around right now that I produced, and I'm absolutely in love with making flyers. I have one for every month, and we are actually also doing a deal right now that if you have multiple siblings or kids in Maud, that you can buy one yearbook for $50 and you can get an additional one for $35. And so,
Tell everybody else that.
huh?
Tell everybody else that.
If you have multiple children in Maud or enrolled in Maud, it has to be immediate family. You can buy one yearbook for $50, and then you can buy another one for $35. But it can only be cash or check, because then I gotta go in and put it in. Okay, great. Let's see. Oh, I'm nervy. We are contracted to sell 100 books by April 15th, and I learned leadership and to give people time and to understand and to comprehend what I either tell them or what I ask of them, because with me I'm kind of a solo act. I don't really have other people that help me. I kind of do it all on my own. So being able to ask other people that have no idea what I'm doing to come and ask me or get their opinion on something, it really helps me a lot because it helps me understand where they come from, their thoughts on it. And being able to sell the yearbook for a 35% dollar charge, and have that as a Christmas present for people is a really upset because no one's done that before. And I know during the holidays it's very busy because money's being spent, grandparents are buying Christmas presents, and parents. It's a very expensive month. So being able to sell the yearbook for $35 to give a layback on parents or grandparents that want to see our kids grow up in the yearbook. I love the fact of the yearbook, and but me having to keep my accuracy comes out to a lot of other people that are also in yearbook. Having to keep my accuracy is our copy editor, Robert Hilton.
My name is Strider Hilton. I am the copy editor of the Maud ISD yearbook. It's my job to edit all grammar on each page of the yearbook while also making room for the captions. And through these captions, I have written the history of our school, and through all my edited grammar, I have made every word comprehensible. There are many things I enjoy in yearbook besides editing, such as going to certain events, having meetings, how all of us come up with good ideas for the book, and the style of the book. I've learned how to use most of the tools on the yearbook website and how to use the camera in photography. And photography is a very important aspect of yearbook. However, not all photos we plan to use start out perfect, which is why we have our photography editor, Holden Wallace.
My name is Holden Wallace, but before I get too deep into what I get into, I'd like to thank Ms. Litchfield for giving me the opportunities and also the resources that are made available to me in these like such as the cameras that we use. One of the applications that we use is Photoshop, which allows me to edit pictures in a way that they're not really seen, but we're able to show them in a different way. And here is this picture of, not what we like to see, but of our quarterback, Rip Thomas. But with Photoshop, it allows us to edit these pictures and bring out colors that you can't really see in person. And honestly, this is a sign that you can't really see because you get up close and personal with your players. And really what I do isn't too exciting. I just take pictures, put them into some folders, filter them out, and then they get uploaded to where they can use them, and they're more exciting work than what I do.
You wanna show
But
them one of the football pages?
one of the
Your work has been.
which one's that?
Go to the far left. There you go. 70 something,
Or 60 something,
60 something.
I think it's 68.
That's a bit, just
What?
just maximize it, you're not gonna be able to open it.
How do I make it?
Just stretch the screen like you would on your phone.
No, a lot about cameras.
Not computers. Alright, here's one of the pictures that we've used. In the original picture, it's completely dark, pitch black, like can't see nothing. But with Photoshop, we was able to brighten these images. So, like what people that don't get in the tunnel, they don't know how it feels to be in the tunnel. But with our camera work and Photoshop work, we're able to brighten images and show the people what normally cannot be seen. And also, right here, we was able to crop the image and zoom it in to where we can now see Cason Levitt being shown making that awesome touchdown. But you can't show too much. You can't show too much. That's what they said. And I'm
Is there a photo that you wanna take?
there is a photo that we need to take. We need to ask a picture of our members and of y'all's members. So that's not too much to ask.
Yeah, that's fine. And then when we take that all last, then I put your.
Grace, you take the photo. Yeah, Grace, you take the photo.
Okay, we need one all again.
So while they're getting set for the photo, I will say this one thing that, if you'll notice, like they actually know their sections. That's how much they're involved in it. You know, and they all have different portions and stuff like that, but they can even tell you like what's going on, where they're gonna be, what's coming up next. Also, she talked about her flyers that she's doing. They're all theme related. So this last month was St. Patrick's Day, theme related. So if you got a flyer, you'll see that it has a St. Patrick's Day theme with the discount for the multiple family member deal. So,
Look at the camera.
and I know Miss Litchfield won't say this, but I'll go ahead and say it. I would put our yearbook right now up with a lot of the 4A, 5A schools as far as theme, effort, time, the growth that we've had. So it's been real big for us.
I'm gonna go ahead and plug it. You need to close it out.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. She started turning it off.
It is toxic.
He said some words, I don't know what they were, I was concentrating on these guys and trying to ruin that. So, you couldn't hear, you couldn't see is an AEC. One of the things they did mention, Mr. Wyndham did mention earlier, is one of the things that's going to be required. AE song titles are the titles of the paper, so. Photoshop would be a lot thinner and muscular. And you'll be
Thank you
able
so
to play the YouTube playlist on your phone as you're watching or going through the book and flipping the pages. So that's something kind of fun for us to do this year.
When you Photoshop this, I'd like to have the Captain America suit.
Well, and educationally, it's actually turned into a real class.
Absolutely.
You know, it used to be a place where they just kind of sit and wait for the next core class. It's actually turned into a real class now. They're constantly being
taller with
moving, so it's been very.
Hey,
It's an image that was
I ended up putting a ball in
administration page, and one
a
that
picture
was
to where
in
you could actually see it.
for our yearbook
It was
page to
crazy.
show our
It took me
experiences.
like 5
We
hours.
did get a couple of photos.
6'3", 6'4".
So we don't share our photos simply because they are in the book and they're out on Facebook. We try to use nothing that's been put out.
I wanna look like Bill.
Otherwise, what's the point of it, right? But we are kind of trying to chronicle the year, and if you do want to purchase it,
just wanted to be better
go to
looking.
yearbookforever.com, and that way you can get it online, or Ms. Buffy will help you in the front office over at the elementary school, and Ms. Sanders over at the middle school. So if you just have checks or cash or whatever you want to bring over, we'll get your receipt. It doesn't come in until August of next year. Oh, yes, can I say one more thing? One more thing. So, because it's 80s, and I don't know about you guys, but remember when it used to come out at the end of the year in the spring, and you got to sign it all and everything like that? Well, our books now don't get delivered until the fall. Seniors are gone, they don't get to sign each other's books. Some of your friends have moved, they don't get to sign your books. We're gonna have a supplement in there that is just the autograph pages. So if you purchase a book, we're gonna have an autograph party.
Signing party.
Signing party, a yearbook signing party, to where you will have that section, and you get all your friends to sign it, and so it's a total throwback to the 80s and all the good stuff that happened, and so we hope to see a really exciting 80th anniversary edition. So that's where we're at on things, so thanks, guys.
I don't know about y'all, but I used to love back in the day when we get our annual, we get to write a note to our friend or, something, or something like that. So that's basically what we're trying to do with this. We're trying to bring some of the themes back that we had before, so it's a really cool thing. I really like it.
Yeah.
All right, so my next thing that I have would have been my teacher of the month or staff member of the month. He is actually at a track meet tonight. It is Coach Fothergill. And I, have been in his class a lot throughout the year, but this last month and a half, I have really seen an uptick in things he's doing. His benchmark scores are we were kind of in a so-so spot right before Christmas, and we've taken another one recently. We had 97% passing, so I'm really fired up with where we're going with Coach Fothergill's history exam. That, and he's been, of course, I don't know how he does it. He's got enough energy to do it, but he's driving here, there, everywhere, cross-country, track. He's, trying to chaperone and take kids everywhere for us anytime we have a need. So my staff member of the month was going to be Coach Fothergill this month, but again, at a track meet tonight, and he will get his gift tomorrow. At this time, what we normally do is if we can get our students out, we're going to take them out here, take a photo in front of the crest with their principal, and as a group as a whole, we'll try to take it, and then at that point, you are more than welcome to leave. But if you want, like Mr. Milford Pierce always says, you're more than welcome to come back and sit for the next 3 or 4 hours and listen to all the fun glory times of school business. But other than that, I think that's it.
Thank you. All right, next item on the agenda is public comments. Having no one signed up, we'll move along. Communications. No communications. The consent agenda, we have the minutes of the February 15th board training meeting, minutes of the February 15th regular meeting, and the monthly financial report. Any member have anything they want to discuss or pull from the consent agenda? We have a motion to approve as presented.
I'll make a motion.
Have a motion by Terry, we have a second. Second by Gap. All in favor, raise your right hand. It's unanimous. Next item is information items. Principal support and athletic report.
Okay, you have your board report in front of you. Our current enrollment is 213. We are down from last year. I think I said last month we had a lot come in last year after Christmas, and we did not have near that many come in after Christmas this year. Our attendance percentage though is up, so that's always good. I have the students and the teacher that were recognized today. Going over to spotlights, we had our book fair and our grandparents' day and open house and all of that together. It was a big turnout. Grandparents' Day, I think, went really well. Actually, much better than last year. I made a few tweaks, changed a few things. We spaced it out, that sort of thing. And so I think that went really well. Mr. Melford, you can attest to that if you.
I heard good things that it was near as crowded.
Yes, not near as crowded. We were able to actually shop, so that was good. On here I put that, how much we profited in book fair, from the book fair in cash and in books, because they get rewarded back in books. So Miss Kite uses some of that book money to purchase things for the library too. And then she also treats our kids who don't have someone come with them. We always make sure everybody gets something, so she keeps a list of who gets something, and so she uses some of that book money too to pay for some of the kids who didn't have anybody come with them. We had a guessing game at the book fair, and our student Seneva Anderson, she won a $25 book fair certificate because she guessed the closest to the actual number of animals in the safari. Then we had a nacho party because they raise coin. They have a class competition during that time that they have coins. In third grade, they collected $186.56, and so they won. Both classes in third grade won a nacho party. So there's that. We had pre-K has talked about mammals, so they got to bring a stuffed mammal, and then they made a poster about their mammal. And so you can see a couple of kindergartners there who got to present and make posters about their mammals. And then our staff wore light blue on March the 14th in support of Ella Turner and to bring Trisomy 18 Awareness Day. So that was all of the staff that wore those shirts. It's really on March the 18th, but we were out of school, so we did it ahead of time so that we could do that. And then upcoming events, we have pre-K Roundup is coming up next Thursday from 6 to 7 in the library. And then we have spring break for the 1st through the 5th. The solar eclipse is on the 8th, so that's a big deal. We've talked about we're going to use some things to learn use that time to learn some things in the classroom. We're going to do trivia next week because we won't be in the week before the eclipse. We're going to do some trivia and things like you can talk about on the announcements with our kids to kind of prepare. So hey, the day we come back from spring break, we're going to have the eclipse. The 12th and the 13th of April is our DI state competition in Arlington. We really don't compete till Saturday, but Friday is when I have to go and check us in as a group. The 16th is the 3rd and 5th STAR test for RLA. It's crazy that this is already here. The 17th is the 4th grade RLA STAR test. And then the 18th and the 19th, we have first grade end of the year M class, which is a reading test that we do. And then the 19th, we have a field trip for pre-K. Any questions? Lots of stuff going on.
For middle school, high school, our enrollment in the middle school has stayed the same since last month. And our high school enrollment, we lost 2, which is the first time we've had any this year really go down, and we've pretty much stayed the same, which dropped our total enrollment down to 233 total. Our attendance has actually gone up about 0.5% as a whole, and so we're kind of staying there on that end of it. You'll notice that a lot of our kids that were off our campus at DAB are now back with us, so that's a good note, that's a good sign. I think some of that's starting to kind of trend in the right direction because they've seen it's something they don't want to deal with or do anymore. Fresh off the press, so to speak, last night, Emily Pipperton was selected for All-Star Cast at the One Act Play. She is also one of the ones that does the Silver Moon there in Texarkana and does plays there. She didn't participate in this recent one they have, which is going to be Little Shop of Horrors. She's not participating on stage. She's doing lights and tech for them over there because she wanted to focus on this. So this has been good for us to get her in our cast, which has done really good. We have a lot of young kids in that. I think we were talking about it I think there was 11 kids total on stage this year, and 9 of them were freshmen or sophomore first timers. So that was a really good deal for us. We're really fired up about that. So the growth is going to be there, and we see some future success in it. Our welding students, Mr. Holden Lawleys and Jacob Emmerich, were awarded scholarships at the United Welding Institute champion or scholarship / welding competition that they had in Arkansas this month. Jacob Emmerich actually won a $4,000 scholarship there. It was one of the biggest ones. He was number 4 overall in the whole competition of over 100 and so odd welders. I think Joe told me 150, but I don't want to lie. So it was a really good deal for our kids. Number one, to show that they belong, but also just to prove their mettle.
They come from several different states too.
And they come from 4 different states. Yeah, so it was huge for us. Holden, Holden's won several competitions before, and he did a really good job there. He was, according to Mr. Barron, just a slight, maybe 1 or 2 people away from being on the final table there with Jacob. So that tells you kind of how those kids are doing. They just started up with their VR, was what I call it, welders. They're virtual welders, in other words, using the fake stick guns and stuff like that, but it's going to be for the wave of the future, so to speak, for all these people that are doing welding. You're not using any materials. You're not getting dirty. You're not wasting materials, stuff like that, and it's allowing you to practice, get all the welds in. It's really cool. Actually, Holden showed me how to use it the other day. It was my first time to ever see it. I had heard about robot welders and things like that, but he knew exactly what was going on. It was impressive. It was really good. Him and Stephen Hall were doing that for me. So I expect a lot of good things. We got another competition coming up this weekend in Fort Worth. So there's a good chance we may pull in some more awards. Student Council was awarded the Sweepstakes Council again for the 3rd year in a row. Miss Harold didn't brag on her kids enough, but they have really done a lot this year. They have stepped up with just so many different activities and things that they have provided for our students on our campus. They are still looking at doing a few more activities around campus, so we're proud of them. Students were trained in social media this month. We had an internet safety social media presentation. One of the local DPS officers came by to try to address the dangers of adult predators. Talked about what their process is on how they catch those guys, and then just even the school bullying predator type situations of, this kid is 14 and they send it to another 13. They are now being processed if they're sexting just like an adult. I mean, there's no playing around no more. And he was talking about the severity and how bad it's gotten, and how they're trying to fix this. Then we also had our seniors go vote this past month on the March 5th elections. It was a good opportunity to show those kids not only how to vote, but the significance of why we vote. It was a really good thing. A lot of those kids loved it. They were excited about it, as you can tell right there. Coach Fothergill took them over to do that. Then we had Read Across America Day in honor of Dr. Seuss's birthday. We had several of my kids go to the elementary and read for us. Then we had Graham. He had a flag flown in his honor on March the 2nd for his upcoming high school graduation. Texas State Representative Gary Van Deaver worked with Graham to finish the Education in Action program that he's been involved in since the 8th grade, which is a really cool thing. That was something he and Brooklyn started a few years ago when I first got here. It was something I kind of just knew about a little bit about, and I started trying to research it, and we got him involved in it. And Graham was actually able to finish it this year, so it's pretty cool. I'm very happy for that. And that certificate that he's holding there comes from Gary Van Deaver, but it also comes from the other state representatives as well. So it's a really cool honor to have. A few things, just some highlighted things that are coming up. Of course, the spring break on April the 1st through the 5th, but also we have a band solo ensemble contest coming up on this weekend. And then other than that, that's just a small bit of what we got going on, because there's actually a lot coming with baseball, softball, track, junior high track meet and stuff like that. So anyhow. Anything, anybody?
Thank you.
All right.
Board, I have the athletic director's report. Coach is at track meet tonight, so he asked me to pinch hit for him. Quickly, girls basketball, all district. You can see we have quite a few that got honors there. Mallory Bishop, newcomer of the year. Bayla White, second team all district, academic all district. Brooklyn Osborne, honorable mention all district. Mackenzie Bishop, honorable mention, academic all district. Chesney Martin, honorable mention. Kendall Martle, honorable mention. Mary Hill, honorable mention. Kira Matamain, academic all district. Abby Brayley, academic all district. And Cadis Inslee, academic all district. And so quite a few there. Not many more than that on the team. So boys basketball, also all district. Rip Thomas, first team academic all district. Brock Wyndham, first team academic all district. Michael Bishop, second team academic all district. Jaden Munoz, second team academic all district. Trenton Sessions, second team academic all district. Raylan Bush, honorable mention academic all district. Ian Butler, honorable mention. Slider Sanders, honorable mention academic all district. And Nick Allen, honorable mention academic all district. So very proud of all the kids there. Powerlifting, Brooklyn Henderson placed third at regional powerlifting meet. And she was a state qualifier and did go to the state championship meet. Aiden Atkinson, Aiden Acosta, and Reese Bailey all competed at regional meet. Reese got second in his weight class and will be competing in the state championship this Saturday in Abilene. Golf scores have improved over each tournament, and 4 kids in the last tournament placed in the top 10, so we're very proud of that. Softball, currently 11-7 on the year, so extremely proud of our girls. They've showed major improvement and are really excited about the year and the future ahead. Baseball, currently 5-3 overall and 3-1 in district play. Hopefully we'll get to play tomorrow, depending on what the weather's going to be like. They've been very competitive in district, and they're in the hunt for district championship. And then also track, we've got several good individual performances in track with several kids in the mix to make regional track meets. And we may have one that may get out of the state for sure. So there's looking really good in the track area as well. So very proud of our kids.
Next item 8, accept certification of unopposed candidates and approve the order to cancel the May 4th, 24 school board trustee election and declare the unopposed candidates elected.
Yes, sir. So we had our school board sign up for elections for place 6 and place 7. We had place 6 was David Gibson, and he is unopposed for this school year. And then in place 7, which would have been Ryan Lamb, we actually had Joshua Brayley sign up, and he is unopposed for place 7. Aaron Frower, had a brain fart for a minute there, had tendered his resignation to the board, which is place 2. And so his unexpired term, Tim Roberts signed up for it, and he was unopposed as well for this school year. So it is the recommendation to accept the candidates, of unopposed candidates, and approve the order to cancel the May 4th election. We do need to certify the candidates before approving canceling the election. So we can do it in one motion. And if you'll look at the recommendation on number 8, that'll help the language there.
Okay. We have a motion to accept the certification of unopposed candidates, David Gibson, Joshua Brayley, and Tim Roberts. Have a motion?
Make that motion.
A motion to accept the certification. I have a second.
I'll second.
Second. All in favor, raise your right hand. It's unanimous. Do we have a motion to approve the order to cancel the May 4th election? Motion. Have a second.
Second.
Second. All in favor? Unanimous. Congratulations.
So, even though we have unopposed candidates, the law still says that we have to wait until after the canvassing of elections, even though we have no elections to canvass, but it's not until after that that we can certify. So it'll be our regular May meeting, and we can bring our unopposed candidates in, and they can pick up as active board members at that time. And we'll do our, how do we usually swear them in? Does Ms. Holly swear them in?
Ms. Holly swears them in.
So Ms. Holly will swear them in, and
Quite
we'll have our,
deal.
we'll have our,
It's a big ordeal.
It's a shindig.
that's good to hear.
She is a camera hog. You just gets up there and show those.
Short and sweet.
Does a great job. that it on number of those?
Yes, sir.
I can, we have a motion to consider, item to consider for approval, the 24-25 school calendar.
Okay, Mr. President and Board, this is very similar to the one we had this last year. We do work very closely with Redwater, and so we do collaborate a lot with them for calendar because we do share kids. And so having two systems that run side by side, we do need to be as close as possible. And so we did vet through Redwater and then also vetted through our campus committees. And this is the recommendation that they've come back with. It does have us with the same number of days, 182 days, actually starting school on August 7th, getting out of school on May the 15th for the last day, and graduation, which is that other big one there, that May 16th.
Both
Sir?
schools graduating?
I'm assuming Redwater is. And so I didn't look that close at their piece. I just, but we're right there.
7
You have one at
and
both
8
places?
this year.
Someone at both places?
Like ours is at 7 this year, and theirs is at 8.
Ours is at 7, and that recommended for next year as well. And so we still have our normal vacation at Thanksgiving, Christmas, our winter break, which I've come to appreciate. It's pretty nice. And then our spring break as well. So puts us into our 182 days and make sure we have the minutes necessary to get our kids taken care of.
Still got the work day first.
Yes, sir. We have the work days starting in August, on August 1st. Excuse me, 31st, July 31st. And then up to the 6th for our teacher work days. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Try to make sure we have as good a weather for spring break as we did winter break.
That's we're working on that one.
That was really nice week. Do we have a motion to approve the 24-25 school calendar?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Terry, we have a second.
Second.
Second by Gap, all in favor, raise your right hand. It's unanimous. Discuss and consider the adoption of EFA local and EFB local policy pertaining to instructional resources.
Okay, this is one that's come out of recent legislation, House Bill 900. And if you remember, there was quite a bit of commotion coming out of Austin with instructional materials and the choices specifically of library books. And so to help schools navigate that piece there, the recommendation from TASB is that we delete our current EF local and then replace it with EFA local, which is our instructional materials, which is classroom, and EFB local, which is instructional materials library, and come up with charge superintendent coming up with a way of how do we put the books into the library. If a parent asks for a list of the materials in the library, we provide that list. And if there's any objection to any material that's in the library, there's a means of bringing that to the campus and having it considered by instructional staff. And so this is really a big push out of the legislature to ensure that parents are informed of the curriculum that's there for instruction, both in the classroom and in the libraries, and ensuring that we maintain local control over the materials that are in front of our kids. So if you remember, it was really heavy in the highlights when some sexually explicit materials were found in some libraries and stuff like that. So we don't have that in MAUD, and we want to continue to make sure that we put sound, wholesome materials in front of our kids as well, so that they become the citizens that we want them to grow up to be. So, it is my recommendation that we, delete and look at the right part of the glasses again, EF local as it stands, and replace it with EFA local and EFB local as presented.
That's the way the agenda, the motion.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's number 10. Yes, sir.
Mhm. But we did talk about the deleting.
Yes, sir.
EF.
Just recommend
Okay.
that we delete EF local and then replace it with EFA local.
All right, we have a recommendation to delete EF local and replace it with EFA local and EFB local pertaining to instructional resources. Do we have a motion?
I'm like,
Motion by David, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Terry, all in favor, raise your right hand. Unanimous. Superintendent's report.
All right, big one, kind of the elephant in the room, I think, is, I'll read it from Hunter exactly. They are currently, they've got 100% construction documents. They're tidying everything up. That's remaining the bid schedule. They're planning to complete get bid packages and get the project bid on April 4th. Finalizing any last minute questions from subcontractors, etc. The intent is to have a guaranteed maximum price to the board for the April board meeting. So that's what's going on from the construction side of it. Talked with Jason on the architect side. They've been back and forth, just cleaned up some specs here and there so that we get the most accurate bid piece out there. My last sentence to them was make sure you get this thing as tight as you can and bring it in under budget for us. So they know where they stand with that piece there. So I'm expecting to see very hopeful that we're going to see some good pieces come out of that in our April board meeting. And as it relates to our cafeteria project, the goal is to, if all goes well there, to have something to the board for acceptance. And my goal is to see us maybe driving some stakes in the ground in May, and then ready to break ground in June and start the cafeteria project. So that's where we stand to this point with that project. And again, we've condensed it down to just cafeteria right now. Let's get cafeteria started. Then we'll step back into and look at our cafeteria / band hall renovation. And because we're going to be in it for a year anyway. That one of the cafeterias being built, and we'll put that out most likely next spring in anticipation for doing the renovation of our band hall. Summer school plans. High school has no intention of summer school this year. We'll take care of that with credit recovery during the year. Puts a big piece back into accountability with our kids and make sure you take care of it the first time. Elementary does have some summer school plans, roughly 20, 30 kids roughly.
Yeah, last year we had about 32, so yeah, anywhere from like 20 to 30, somewhere in there. We try to get those invites out, so yeah.
Okay. Doesn't necessarily take board action for this, but Buffer's asked that we move the June board meeting from June 20th to the June 18th. I did just want it listed in open session, that way we've talked about it. That will allow him to be here and be a part of that June board meeting. That's usually one of our budget workshops in preparation for the next year. I want to take a minute and brag on Tommy. We had some, I guess, a punch earlier in the year on our audit piece, but we did have Leslie out this last week, our auditor, and she's reviewed our records to date, and she's singing praises for all the pieces that have been taken care of in the business office. So, so that means I got a one-day audit. That's all you're going to need for this year, basically. Yeah. So I was very pleased with that piece right there. Going forward, never was an issue. It was never an issue. It was just it was an issue. You know what I'm saying? So, but we're there, and so I'm happy to report that to the board. And Tommy is instrumental in taking care of that. And we'll talk about that another spot if I want to.
I'm glad to be there as well.
And so I'm very pleased with that right there. There is a board training April 11th at the Regional Service Center. If you have any trainings left over, I think we have a couple members that do need to pick up some legislative updates. The albeit to that is also the same night as our ag banquet. I would hate to ask someone to choose between those two right there. If you're a member that's needing some governance, we can put together a workshop prior to the ag banquet and meet up here and take care of that and get you taken care of before our next board meeting. And so we'll have all of our trainings in place prior to. Do I?
She know who needs it. Doesn't
She does. I'll visit with our members and make sure everybody's in compliance up to then, so we'll be in good shape. So that's a big piece right there. And again, I think that's our, if memory serves me right, I may be getting confused, but we have a big ag banquet that night, and I think they also have a big auction that night as well, right? And so
No, not that.
that's not that. Okay,
No,
it's just a banquet. Okay,
It's a feed.
It's a feed.
Feed pictures.
And so, it's a great opportunity to see our kids. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to take us away from Maud ISD when our kids are going to be showcased, and so that's a big piece there. So, not on there, but I think it falls under superintendent's report. Ms. Holly brought me the title to the property behind us. It came in Tuesday? Monday? Tuesday. So it's official, done, documented. Maud ISD is the owner of the property where that house is sitting behind the district. So started a long time back before Dr. Siggers got here, but with all the work of Dr. Bradshaw and Ms. Holly and Tommy and the title office, we're there. So we're very pleased with that piece right there. And now we can file that away, and that's MISD memorabilia and property now. So we'll work on that piece as we go forward. So, and I do believe that is all, Mr. President, as far as superintendent's report.
Great. We are now going to executive session at 7:26 p.m. We'll be discussing personnel according to Texas Government Code Section 551.074, discussion of personnel, discuss and consider contract recommendations of the following personnel: instructional coordinator, diagnostician, and school counselor. Discuss and consider contract recommendations of the following personnel: assistant band director, high school teacher, elementary teacher coach, and resignation and retirement from employees. We'll go into executive session this time, and we'll take a 5-minute break, reconvene. We're returning to open session 8:24 p.m. Next item on the agenda, consider and take action on resolution regarding the program change and directing superintendent to further action. Do we have a motion to recommend the approval of the resolution for changes in the technology program and delegates to the district superintendent of schools the authority to implement MOD, ISD, DFFB local for this reduction in force based on a program change, and make necessary recommendations to the board regarding the proposed termination and or proposed renewal of Chapter 21 employees currently working in the effective program as set forth in this resolution. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
A motion by Terry. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second, RJ. All in favor, raise your right hand. It's unanimous. Next item is consider and take action on personnel contract recommendation. First, we have a motion to extend the 1-year term contract for Julie Hawkins, school diagnostician.
I'll make it.
Motion by David. Do we have a second?
I'll make it.
Second. All in favor, raise your right hand. It's unanimous. Do we have a motion to extend the 1-year term contract for Kayla Harrell, school counselor?
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. All in favor, raise your hand. I will abstain. Passes 3-4, 1 abstention. We have a motion to extend the 1-year term contract for Amanda Breyer, instructional coordinator.
I'll make a motion.
We have a motion with Terry. We have a second.
Second.
Second with David. All in favor, raise your right hand. It is unanimous. Motion to offer a 1-year probationary contract to Colby Carr as elementary teacher coach.
I will gladly make that motion.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. All in favor, raise your right hand. I will abstain, so it passes 3-4, 1 abstention. We have a motion for a 1-year probationary contract to Alessandra Sprayberry for Spanish teacher.
Make that motion.
I have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second. All in favor, raise your right hand. It is unanimous. This item is adjourned. Do we have a motion?
No, hold on.
Oh.
Recognitions.
Oh, sorry. Do I have that?
Two resignations. They're in the last
Litchfield,
page.
Kenny Litchfield. And Kara Cobb.
Okay. So we have letters of resignation from Tammy Litchfield and Kara Cottle. We have a motion to accept those resignations.
I'll make that motion.
Have a motion to accept. We have a second?
Second.
Second. All in favor, raise your right hand. It is unanimous. Terry, thank you for keeping me straight. Now do we have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion.
Do we have a second? That was awesome. All in favor, raise your right hand. In memory of Aaron.
Yeah. We didn't know what to do with that.